Hi, my name is Kevin Gray. I'm a product marketing manager at Varicent, an IBM company. Thank you for joining this session, an overview of sales performance management. Today I'm going to spend the next 20 or 30 minutes talking about what sales performance management, or SPM, really is, how it fits into the technology ecosystem, as well as how an SPM solution can really streamline the business processes around territory management, quota planning, and incentive compensation management. We'll also look at some of the key drivers that are making organizations look at sales performance management and implementing a solution to an SPM solution. And finally, we'll wrap up around a discussion around how organizations that have deployed an SPM solution have gained better business intelligence, improve the accuracy of commission spend, and really how they've taken advantage of SPM to distribute management reports that drive informed decisions and greater performance in the sales organization. To begin, I want to just call out that sales performance management has typically been owned by the sales, finance, and human resources lines of business. So it's a set of business processes that sales and finance and HR can take it, can use sales performance management to help streamline those business processes. However, the data that really comes out of sales performance management has really significantly improved other lines of business in their decision making, their analytical reporting, and that sort of thing. So the data that comes out provides useful insight to the overall organization. It's not just sales, finance, and HR that's benefiting from this. It's all across the entire organization, all lines of business. So how does sales performance management align with Smarter Analytics, or the IBM Smarter Analytics initiative? IBM Smarter Analytics really is made up of four key themes or goals under the Smarter Analytics initiative. And so what I want to talk about is how does sales performance management really align to those goals under Smarter Analytics. So if you take the first one, grow, retain, and satisfy customers, sales performance management allows you to design plans that will drive behaviors of your salespeople to help you grow your business, to help you retain and satisfy all your customers based on the plans that the sales reps are actually working towards. And those plans can be or should be aligned to what the overall organization sales strategy is. So if you're moving into new accounts, if you're trying to retain customers, if you're trying to build relationships, we can build comp plans in sales performance management that will help you drive that growth. The second one is increased operational efficiencies, and this is really the core of sales performance management. And what we mean is paying more accurate incentive compensation, reducing the errors. Many organizations are still using Excel to manage their comp plans, and we'll talk a little bit more about that as we move through this presentation. But it's really about reducing errors, error rates, increasing the speed of processing compensation cycles. Some organizations are taking 2-3 weeks to get through the business process of paying their people. They're calculating commissions, paying them, handling acquired disputes. We can, using sales performance management, really increase or streamline the increase operational efficiencies by streamlining those business processes. The third one under Smarter Analytics is really transforming financial processes. And many organizations are moving away from a standard revenue type comp plan where a sales rep will generate X amount of revenue dollars and we pay a certain percentage against that revenue. They're very simple plans, and more organizations are trying to hold sales reps and their sales teams more accountable to generating more profit, watching the margins on their sales, and we can design plans under sales performance management that will help motivate the sales staff to do those activities, as well as having the ability to forecast, accurately forecast commission spend, revenue generated, where we're performing well in specific territories or regions. It's really around you know, having a true impact on the financial aspects of the organization. And then the fourth one is really manage risk, fraud, and regulatory compliance, and how sales performance management can really align with that goal is to be able to meet and put in place better controls, better ways to audit the entire compensation process. So how did an inquiry get resolved? Why did we pay extra commission, or why did we take away commission? Did draws, you know, a sales rep take a draw at the beginning of the period? Did they pay, you know, was it recovered? When we calculate commissions, there may be a hold on that commission before we can pay that commission payout to a salesperson. We need to make sure that the performance of the organization is still doing well 3 months after that calculation, so, or after that period. So a lot of the banks, a lot of the insurance, financial institutions have to meet these regulations and legislation, and certainly sales performance management can help manage that risk, that fraud, that compliance level. So under sales performance management, there's 4 key business processes that I want to define here. And the first one is really around territory management. Where do we sell and who do we give credit to? So it's really about managing territories, territory definitions, assigning those territory definitions, making sure that they're fair territories, that they're equitable for the sales team, realigning territories should we need to throughout the year, things like that. So managing territories, optimizing those territories, and really it's about where do we sell and who do we give credit to for selling our products. The next one business process under SPM is really quota planning. How much do we need to sell? So setting out good quotas, accurate quotas at the beginning of the year, maintaining those quotas, adjusting those quotas at an individual level, at a team level, at a region level, managing those quotas throughout the year. And that's really all about how much do we need to sell to meet our targets. So if we're setting our targets for at the beginning of the year, we want to try to meet those targets by the end of the year. How can we manage those quotas and distribute those quotas through the sales team to make sure that we are on target to meet our objectives, our revenue objectives. And the third business process under sales performance management is really around channel management. So this can be a very complex business process as well as the others. Who is eligible to sell a product? So there may be training that a sales rep has to take. There may be certification that they need to maintain. They may, there may be indirect sales. There may be direct sales. There may be inside sales reps. Insurance, for example, has agents and brokers that we have to manage. So it's all about who is eligible to sell the product that we have in our organization or in our sales mix. And then the last one is really the core of SPM, and that's calculating incentive compensation. So what do we pay people to sell it? So designing good plans that are going to motivate good sales behavior that will align to our strategy, our sales strategy, whether that be breaking into new accounts, breaking into new verticals, launching new products. It's really about designing good plans that are going to manage or drive behavior of the sales team, and then calculating what do we pay people for selling those products. And across all of those business processes, and they can be very complex, we want to make sure that we're monitoring and evaluating the performance of each one of these. So are we on target for the quotas that we have set? How are the territories doing? So are we in jeopardy in any particular territory? Do we need to realign a territory? Do we need to allocate new resources into territory to meet those targets? Do we need to manage temporary coverage in those territories? So looking at all of those things, making sure that the channel is selling the products that they're eligible to sell, and no one's selling products that they may not be certified in or may not be trained upon, and then watching what our commission spend is. So reporting, scenario management, analysis spreads right across all of these business processes. And we definitely want to take a look at how can we take historical data, how we're doing today or yesterday, I mean, so leading up to this, you know, maybe we're at the end of the year and we're moving into the next year. We want to do some scenario management or forecasting so that we can adjust those plans, so that we can adjust the quotas, we can set realistic territories or more equitable territories, and really kind of correct what we may have done in the past. So it's really about monitoring and evaluating the performance of the sales organization. And so how does that all fit into the technology ecosystem in an organization? Well, organizations, enterprise organizations have many applications out there. They have lots of data out there, big data, stored in their ERP system, CRM, or HR system, or other system. Maybe there's industry solutions out there that contain specific industry data. It's about taking all that big data, bringing it into a consolidated view, and processing that through the sales performance management process. And underlying all of that data is really things like designing good data models, managing workflows for approval processes, automating data imports, automating calculations, scheduling those calculations to run through all of these different 4 business processes that fall under SPM. And as a result of that, it's turning it into useful outcomes. And what we mean by useful outcomes is really about, you know, publishing the accurate payments out to payroll and integrating with a payroll system, publishing out good and clean data back into our CRM solutions, managing our GL accounts for finance, and really taking that data, whatever it might be that's coming out of sales performance, and using BI tools, you know, that may be able to analyze the data better, improve to make better decisions, and improve the performance of the sales organization. So tools like Cognos or TM1 can be used to take the data from that is published out of sales performance management and make, you know, analyze that data further and make better decisions moving forward. So under the under IBM Smarter Analytics, it's really about taking big data, turning it into some useful outcome that the organization can benefit from. And so what are some of the activities that lie within territory management, quota planning, and incentive comp? And so I'm not going to go through all of these, but you can see or get a flavor of what types of activities kind of fall into these extremely complex business processes. So there's strategy and plan design, there's plan setup and administrating those plans, there's managing the whole compensation process, and reporting and making taking a further deep dive or analysis on the data and making corrective actions. So under these 4 buckets or categories, what activities kind of take place are setting the sales strategy. So sales ops may say, I want to go into these verticals, I want to launch new products, I want to retain customers. What is the sales strategy? And making sure that based on that sales strategy, we have good sales coverage, proper sales roles, proper sales coverage within all of our territories. We also want to look at how we're going to measure the success of the sales strategy. So how are we going to evaluate a sales rep? How are we going to evaluate a product specialist? And defining what those measures might look like. We want to, as a sales operations team, we want to make sure that we have good, accurate budgeting for commission spend. And optimizing our territories, making sure that our salespeople are equipped to get to the accounts that when they need to, making sure that their territories are defined equitable and fair throughout the territory, sales territory. Other sales operation type of activities might be setting appropriate quotas, designing a good quota strategy, aligning those quotas with the territories and distributing those quotas, managing the hierarchies. What we mean by that is as people move within the sales organization, we need to manage who they report to and what territory they're assigned to and what geography they belong to. We also want to manage new product hierarchies. So maybe we categorize our hierarchies for products in one way with a product family and the product and accessories to that product, and maybe we define those hierarchies differently in different regions. Our customer hierarchy is another good example. Where are our customers located? Maybe we want to divide those customers into enterprise accounts to mid-market accounts. So very complex managing these hierarchies. Sales ops will also define territories and assign those territories. What does a territory look like? Not from just the geographic perspective, but what products belong into those territories. Are we selling those territories at a defining those territories at a zip code level or just a region level? Lots of complexity in that. As well as crediting rules. So how do people get credited for selling within those territories? And then designing a good plan and distributing that plan out to your salespeople, to take a look at, to agree to sign off on, and managing that whole process. And then you move into more of the compensation and reporting and analytics piece. And often where these activities lie are really in the finance or comp team, finance or HR maybe owns the comp process, but it's essentially calculating good, accurate commissions and making sure that the crediting rules have been applied for every sale, to calculate the payment and distribute that payment, handle any inquiries and disputes about what a sales rep may have been paid in a particular payment or period, and then finally just what adjustments need to be made. Do we need to did someone get overpaid in the last period and we need to make an adjustment to their payout for the current period? And under reporting analytics and correction, what we mean by correction is not so much we need to correct the commission payment, but it's really taking corrective action that once we've looked at the results and objectives, taking corrective actions and making sure that we're in alignment with the overall sales strategy that was set in the beginning. Other activities under reporting and analytics is really taking a look at earning estimation. So how much is a sales rep going, if we keep trending this way, how much is our compensation earnings going to be in next period, the following period, at the end of the year, and making sure that we're monitoring that. We also want to look at forecasting and modeling. So if we change our plans, how does that impact commissions? How does that increase revenue? So we want to be able to model some changes out there, roll those out quickly, and be adaptable to the market. And then finally, there's always going to be audit tracking and compliance and risk. So we want to make sure that we're reporting on those. So why did we pay somebody an extra $1,000 in a particular period as a manual adjustment? What was the reason for that? Was there an inquiry dispute? Did they put forth more effort in a particular sale? And we want to be able to track that so that we pass our audits, our internal audits, our external audits. And then finally, coaching. So looking at the data, looking at who's sold, who are our top performers, who are our bottom performers, identifying those bottom performers so that we can roll out new training programs, mentoring programs, and adjust to make those salespeople into better performers, top performers. So the question is how does sales management, how is sales compensation managed really today? And often what we hear is, how tough can it really be? We're cutting checks, we're calculating commissions, cutting checks, and making sure that those checks are accurate. But when you take everything into account, are we flexible for change? Did the market change? Are we able to change our plans? Did the territories that we defined in the beginning of the year, are they really working out? Are they equitable? Are they optimized? It can be a very complex process. Did we set accurate quotas in the beginning? Do we need to make adjustments? With the plans that we designed, is the sales reps really enthusiastic about how they're selling the products, how they're earning their commissions? Can we deliver timely and insightful reports? Can we manage that whole process? Can we handle inquiry disputes, questions that are coming from the sales team on the way they're paying out? And obviously, we're always expected to do this with less headcount. Let's just get it done. It can't be that hard, but it really is. Those processes can be very complex. And so when you look at all of those things, these four processes are very key to the success of the sales organization, as well as being very complex to manage. And so today, the way organizations are really managing compensation and performance of the sales organization, well, through CSO insights, who often perform analysis in this space in commissions and performance management. What their analysis revealed in a 2011 study is that 54% of organizations are still managing comp through spreadsheets. We've worked with organizations that have hundreds, if not thousands, of spreadsheets with very complex calculations, 2 or 3 people managing that process. Can be very cumbersome, very hard to manage, but 54% of organizations are still doing it this way. Now 22% have actually moved into a homegrown solution. So whether that be Microsoft Access, maybe it's a custom coded application that they've developed internally. We worked with an insurance company that manages all their comp programs on an old COBOL legacy system that is very difficult to make changes, a whole significant number of staff managing that as developers. When there is a change, they're not able to adapt to those changes quickly. These things are really forcing organizations or making organizations take a serious look at an SPM solution. So 14% of organizations out there now that through this study have really moved on to commercial software and realizing the benefit of a sales performance management solution. So it's a huge market out there still, looking at a lot of organizations still wanting to adopt commercial software. And then of course there's always manual and unknown in the study that comes through. So it can be a very tough business process, and we recognize the pain that organizations are feeling through these business processes. So some analyst quotes. These are actually from Gartner MarketScope. Gartner's a research firm that watches the sales performance management space, and what they say here, there's 3 quotes here, that organizations in terms of compensation spend on as a percentage of their annual revenue is up 11.5%. So they're spending 11.5% in commissions for their revenues of their revenues that they've generated. And the second quote is really, recognizing that organizations that have adopted SPM technologies, they tend to outperform those that don't. They set higher attainment of quota, they achieve higher attainment of quota, more reps making quota, higher win rates on their deals, and definitely increasing their revenues. And then the final quote from this study by Gartner was really around reducing errors. So 90% of the organizations that have adopted SPM technologies have reported back that they've made a reduction in errors by more than 90%. And then reduced processing time, which is a huge one. Many organizations, as I said earlier, are taking 2-3 weeks to go through these processes, pay out commissions, calculate the commissions, managing acquired disputes. They've reported back that they've reduced their processing times by more than 40%. And then by implementing a sales performance management solution, there's a reduction in IT admin staff. The technology is streamlining these business processes. There's less dependency on IT. It's owned by the business, and many of these organizations are coming back saying that we've reduced our staffing by more than 50%. So what are some of the key drivers that are making organizations look at sales performance management as a viable solution to streamline these business processes? Well, we really categorize them into these three groups here. The first one, efficiency and accuracy. Organizations want to reduce the errors, the amount of overpayment they're calculating in commissions. They want to shorten the cycle times for calculating commissions. The time it takes to resolve inquiry disputes, the time it takes to calculate the commissions, the time it takes to validate those commissions. They also want to replace old technology, so spreadsheets. They want to, or a homegrown solution. Another driver is really around business enablement. A lot of comp is managed, with IT groups or development staff, or a group of people within the comp team that understand the Excel spreadsheets very well. And so they want the entire business to be enabled, not just sales and comp teams, but the entire organization. So maybe the organization is going through a merger or acquisition. We've got to realign plans, making sure that everyone's paid the same in equitable territories. We have to redistribute quotas and look at our quotas through the merger and acquisition. We may want to take a look at how we're doing last year from historical data and design new compensation plans, or even from period to period. Depending on the practice within the organization, often it may wait to the end of the year. You take a look at the historical data. Did we meet our objectives? Are they aligned with the sales goals? How did we perform as an organization? Taking a look at that valuable historical data and looking at how we can design new plans for the following year. Or maybe the company is just doing a reorg. People are reporting differently. Territories are different. Lots impacted. But the bottom line is the business really wants to own the process of sales performance management, or the process associated with sales performance management. And then the third one is really risk reduction. We mentioned this before. Maybe the organization failed an internal audit. There's lots going on out there around legislation and controls around how we pay commission. Federal Reserve and the Dodd-Frank's report. What's coming out of there is holding payments back on commissions for banks, financial institutions, insurance companies. Lots driving that, and organizations are really looking for solutions that can manage the compliance, the regulatory things that are governing their comp plans and comp programs. So sales performance management really spans across all industries and all sizes. So here's some customers that we have today, customer references. You're looking at large insurance companies like Farmers Insurance, where they're paying 80,000 people out of our RSPM solution at any given time. And Elevon, they have huge. So Elevon is really not a household name, but they essentially calculate commission, or calculate or process credit cards and debit cards, that sort of thing, and pay commissions on those transactions. So huge data volumes. You've got Waste Management out there that really pay their truck drivers for delivering waste, and the quality of customer satisfaction. Lots of banks here. It really spans across all of the different verticals and sizes of organizations. So what makes Varicent different, the Varicent SPM solution? Well, it's really around 4 key things from our competitors. So we believe we have the best sales performance management product in the market today. In terms of business user friendly, people are able to configure the solution from a business user, from the lines of business. There's no custom code required. It's lots of visual elements to manage it, drag and drop, wizards, things like that. So it's very intuitive, easy to use. We have the Varicent product is actually very flexible in the way we design our comp plans, our MBOs. We can incorporate bonuses, we can do spiffs or contests, but we can adapt to change. So if those comp plans aren't working halfway through the year, it's very easy to make those changes in the SPM solution, the Varicent solution. We meet, again, meeting changes, from all different perspectives. Quota changes, territory management changes. So it's a very flexible solution. The way the data model is designed in Varicent is that we don't believe that we need to build our solution in a way that organizations have to fit the data model that we've designed. We go out to our customers and say, how do you want to format your data? And we can bring that data into a very flexible data model, with very little effort to accommodate the customer's business and the way they are doing their business, rather than the solution dictating how they need to format their data. The third one is really around being a very integrated product. So we have a calculation engine that's very high performing, ETL tools, workflow, scheduling, reporting. All of this is part of the Varicent SPM solution. It's not a group of third-party applications that are all bolted together to try to come up with a solution. It is a all-encompassing integrated product that we've developed to manage all of these different capabilities, which really lowers the cost of ownership. You don't have to buy additional licenses for other tools to do reporting, for example, etc. And then the fourth one, one that we're very, very proud about at Varicent, is around our performance and scalability of our solutions. So we have been up with customers where they say there's 50 million, 100 million in transactions that they need to process, with very complex territory and crediting rules and lots of salespeople, and these are huge volume data, transactional volumes that we have to process through sales performance management. So the solution has been designed to be high performing. As additional users get added to the system, more payees grow. It's very scalable without impacting the overall experience of our end users. Import calculation times, etc. They're very high performing and outperform any of our competitors. So let's take a look at a sales rep. How does a sales rep use sales performance management really to gain better business insight? These are things that I called out before. Improve accuracy of commissions, generate reports, etc. Well, a sales rep is going to come into the system and they're going to want to look at commission statements. They're going to want to look at what their earnings were. They may need to reach back and say, what was my plan agreement look like? How am I, what's expected of me? When did I sign off on that? How do I handle inquiry disputes through to the resolution process? So if I have a problem with the way I'm being as a sales rep being commissioned, who should I talk to? Who should communicate that? Who should look into a resolution? I want to be able to know how I'm performing. And being a sales rep, we all know sales reps are very competitive. So as a sales rep, I'm going to want to look at how I'm stacking up against the performance of my team. But there's lots of other things that we want to look at here in sales performance management. We want to be able to manage my pipeline in the CRM. I want to know what activities are close to being closed. Where do I put my effort? I might want to take a look at self-calculators or estimators, and the whole sales performance management, the Varicent solution can include includes all of these types of activities and tools. So in the next screen here, we are actually looking at a sales representative dashboard. And here you'll see that there's key metrics on here that we're showing to that sales rep. They can log in from any web browser anywhere in the world, take a look at key performance indicators like what are my year-to-date sales, how is my quota doing, how am I tracking against my team or ranking against my team for year-to-date attainment. How close am I getting to meeting my targets? But the one thing I'm mostly interested in as a sales rep is what does my commission look like? So what's my gross commission? Did I take in, were there any adjustments in this period made? Do I have any draws outstanding that need to be paid back? Am I going to get an MBO or a bonus here? Things like this, as well as taking a look at my pipeline and top opportunity. This screenshot, this dashboard that I'm showing you today, is just a highlight of what a sales rep might look at in our solution, in the Varicent sales performance management solution. However, this can be designed any way our customers want, or as a customer you want. we really, whatever key metrics that you want to place on a dashboard, we can put in. In the sake of time, I can't take you through all of the solution here, but hopefully this gives you an idea of what a sales rep might look at in the solution. But then there's a sales manager. They have the same, they use the same or interact with the solution as well, and some same needs. But they may want to look at different metrics. They want to look at the performance of, and how they're being measured up in the sales performance management solution. They want visibility of the whole sales organization, or at least, where they're responsible for, what their territory looks like, and how it's performing. They want to be able to manage those territory assignments. They may lose a rep and hire a new rep, onboard a new rep, reassign the territory to that particular person. Or maybe somebody's left for a few weeks, on vacation, and we got to manage the coverage of their territory while they're out. There could be several sales roles collaborating on a sales deal, and I've got to, as a sales manager, manage the credit assignments for those. Maybe there's some splits, maybe there's some overrides. I might have to adjust some quotas depending on how I'm tracking. I want to monitor the attainment levels of my sales reps, and I definitely want to look at my top performers and bottom performers. So as you can see, the sales manager's dashboard looks similar to a sales rep's in this case, but it shows different metrics. So again, Varicent can be designed or configured to display whatever metrics for each individual role, whether it be a sales rep, a sales manager, territory manager. So really, as a sales representative, I'm just looking at the health of the organization. Are we meeting our targets within the different regions, in terms of quota attainment? Who are my top performers? Who are my bottom performers? Where am I paying, where are my year-to-date sales levels within each region? I want to look at the average size deal that we're selling. We want to look at gross margin, as well as the pipeline activities, and you can see that I'm displaying pipeline activities a little bit different here. What we're looking at is the pipeline activities for the entire sales team that reports into the sales manager. So whereas the last screenshot we showed the sales manager looking at their particular pipeline and their top opportunities. So again, it can be very customized, the way, or configured the way that is most applicable to the sales to the organization we're working with. So I'm just going to go on to the next. The next role is really around the compensation administrator. So how do they interact with the Varicent solution? Comp admins will want to set up the territories and crediting rules that were designed by the sales ops. They want to manage the plans, any changes to those plans. So whether it be new rates or a new structure for the plan, they want to model plans for the next year and create what-if scenarios in the solution. They may want to calculate and distribute commission statements through at the end of each period. And build reports and analyzing the results. So these are all key activities of a comp admin. And so when we take a look at the way a comp admin would look, or HR professional would use the Varicent solution, you're looking at a screenshot of how they might manage the overall solution. And the way the Varicent SPM solution has been designed is that we can display process lists. So once the solution is installed and set up, we want to make it as easy to navigate, easy to maintain plans, inquiries, disputes, etc. as possible for the business user. And so what you're looking at is what we call process lists within our solution. And you're looking at a month-end process list. So this is just one example of how a comp admin would interact. At the end of the period, they may have to import some data from the upstream systems, your ERP, your CRM solution. There is a process list for an activity in the process list to do that. and they may have to review some of those transactions. They may have to change some payee information, enter some plan overrides, or manual adjustments, whatever it might be. These process lists are in alignment with each customer's process, and you can create for the month end, for the quarter end, for the annual lockdown of your commissions, planning scenarios and models. We define these business process in alignment with the organization that we're working with, and to help streamline their unique business processes. So very easy to navigate and use for a complement and the business line of business to take ownership of the solution. So that concludes our presentation today. Hopefully this gave you a good overview of what sales performance management is, how Varicent comes to the market with a very robust and very user-friendly solution that is high performing, scalable for our customers, and provide you a good overview of what sales performance management is. Thank you for joining me today.